Now, the European systems are not American systems. They are monetary systems, not credit systems. And this is laid out, for example, by Henry Carey and others in their own terms. But the principle is already there. The principle is we are not a monetary system. What happened is that what Roosevelt defined as the Bretton Woods system in 1944 at the Bretton Woods Conference, the same conference that Keynes was there, was a credit system, not a monetary system. What happened after Roosevelt's death is Truman and Company converted the international system, fixed exchange rate system, into a monetary system, a British system. Now, a British system, a monetary system, is based on an old Venetian type of principle in which money is uttered in various ways by various kinds of institutions, but not under the control of government. Government may regulate this, government may intervene with it, but the essence of money is not federal, it's not credit. So therefore, in the British system, money or money systems become an independent force dealing and negotiating with the credit systems of the nation, that credit system in the sense of constitutional or quasi-constitutional systems. So therefore, the utterance of money is out of the control, essentially, of government in one way or the other. What is practiced is, and this is a characteristic of the Anglo-Dutch liberal system. The Anglo-Dutch liberal system is the essence of the British Empire. This is the Sarpi system, Paolo Sarpi. This is the northern system. This is the real British Empire. When you get to, in economics and financial matters, the collision you get between the two systems on the one hand is the American system, which is a credit system. That's the system of freedom, the system of political government. The other side is the British system, or the Anglo-Dutch liberal system, which is based on money. It's based on central banking. We are not a central banking system, though somebody tried to make the Federal Reserve System into a central banking system. We are a corrupted system by the standard of our Constitution. And what I propose is very simply, go back to the credit system, to a simple credit system. The United States is the sole authority and has a monopoly on the uttering of currency or credit which leads to currency. The two things are interchangeable. Credit debt of the U.S. government cannot be created except by an authorization of an act of Congress. Consent of Congress. And therefore, the United States government has that debt and controls that debt. That's our system. The British system is the central bankers control the debt to the extent the governments don't interfere with it. But essentially, in principle, they control the debt. So it's a monetary system. So what happened is when Truman took over, Truman, who was kissed the ass of Winston Churchill every moment he could, then we had imperialism again. Roosevelt's purpose was to use the credit system, and the credit system was the productive power of our war industry converted to other purposes, to free nations from colonialism, to destroy the British Empire. Roosevelt was explicit. The American system is based on destroying the British Empire. The British Empire is the official enemy of the United States, the primary permanent enemy of the United States. We don't shoot them, unless we have to. We like to torture them instead. And the best way to torture them is to tease them about their cold monetary system. Gets them very upset, and you enjoy that. You know, when Brit has a fit, a hissy fit. But that's the essential thing here. So therefore, the issue is we're talking about terms of monetary systems which are British in their conception. My point is we have a constitution, and when the Congress and the presidency, especially the Congress, enforces the intention of our Constitution, as it should, then the British are defeated. And they can only get at us by going to war against us. And in that case, we can beat them every time. So the point is, all the assumptions about this are based on the idea of a credit system. If we, the United States, say something is credit by law, it is credit. We are sovereign. We are a sovereign. Our sovereign acts create credit. Look, we had a lot of things to build. Someone says we have no money. Well, the question comes, what do we do about that? I want to build a new Maglev system for the United States, all over the United States. Well, it'll take us about 20, 25 years to get that thing into place. That's going to cost a lot of money. What are we going to do? Well, Congress is going to authorize that money as credit. The use will be restricted according to law for that purpose. So we'll build the system. What happens? Well, getting that credit issued means that a lot of people go to work. Institutions go to work. You start to build a system. People are going to work. People begin to produce more. Wealth is being created instead of waste. And we become more productive because we do things that are going to make us more productive, as I said earlier today, in terms of the idea of the question of from the top down, basic economic infrastructure. See, when you have an economy, you say, we're not going to have nuclear power, you're an idiot. You've destroyed your ability to create credit to increase the generation of wealth. You say, we're not going to have large-scale water systems, we're going to let the Mississippi become a hellhole, we're not going to repair it, Katrina forever, that sort of thing. We're destroying the wealth of the country. We're destroying the productivity of our people. When we invest in things that increase the productivity of our people, either directly by providing jobs that are needed and are useful and creating wealth, or by creating an infrastructural environment which has a multiplier effect on the productive powers of labor throughout the society. If I can get you to work in 1 hour a day instead of 2.5 hours a day each way, that is an increase in productivity. That's a simple thing. We are trying to increase the productive powers of labor. So therefore, the credit system operates not on the basis of fixed objects. The credit system operates on the basis of productivity. We invest in things that we are convinced will increase the productive powers of labor per capita and per square kilometer in our society. Or we do it because it's a good thing to do for other countries, which somehow will be beneficial to us in that way. But when you have a greeny mentality, as we have a disease of that type today, that's when the fungus gets in, the brain turns all green and fuzzy from this stuff. Then you say, you don't like high technology. You don't like nuclear power. You don't like high-speed transportation systems. You want crazy little cars that you can take to bed with you at night. Things like that. So therefore, what we've done, and look at our educational system. Look at Harvard University. Harvard University today is hardly a center for the promotion of productivity. It may invent a new sex, but productivity never. But this sort of thing, so that's the point. The point essentially is you have to have a sense of national mission and international mission. Our mission is to be human. The difference between human beings and apes is expressed by science and classical culture. It's the improvement of the mind, the improvement of the productive powers of labor, the increase of man's standard of living, man's productivity, man's purpose in life. And it's investment in those kinds of things that are important. When a greenie comes along and say, we're going to increase productivity. We're going to disinvest in you. Your ideas don't work. So we have to make that distinction. When you start talking in the monetary terms, and I understand what you're saying, the monetary terms are the pressures that get put on you by members of the Congress and so forth who believe in this silliness about monetary theory. That's why there's no, look, I'm the only competent long-range forecaster in the history of the United States since I started forecasting in 1956. There's no other person who's made competent long-range forecasts in the United States on what was going to happen in the United States. I'm the only one. Why? There are other people who have competency in economic forecasting of a limited type, but this type, no. I've always been right, and they've always been wrong.